How's it going, my Trinity people? DrSlaking, the Slacking Doctor, back on Pokemon Showdown for the final week of Owl regular season. This is week 10, I believe, in Owl, and this week we're going up against the forecast again, and specifically my man Kenneth. If you guys have been around the channel for a while, you'll know Kenneth is one of my favourite people's battle in the community. He always brings some heat sets. We always have some great games. Currently, I believe we are 2-1 against Kenneth. He beat us in the ABC regular season. We beat in season 1, but we beat him in season 2 and in the PIBA off season. I think they're the only 3 times we've played. So currently we are 2-1 against Kenneth. Looking to go 3-1 here. Now I should mention that we have actually locked up playoffs right now, guaranteed. We are in playoffs, so there's really nothing to play for this game. I don't believe we can even finish higher in our pool. Maybe we can in our division, but certainly the forecast that we're going up against, they can finish higher, I think, as well. So whilst there isn't a lot for me to play for in this one personally, I'm a big believer that if the team you're going up against can still play for things in respect to their opponents, you have to do your best still, right? So I'm still going to be very much taking this game seriously in terms of my prep, in terms of the way I played. But I will be honest, I did play certain things more casual in terms of, like, I was on the phone to Katie during this game. I wasn't, like, disconnected from the world solely because, you know, it is what it is. So, but I still very much came in to try and win this game and still gave it my all to try and win this game. But this one is just going to be a bit more fun, you know, a bit more chilled out. So, looking at the team here, we have a physically defensive Reuniclus. The idea being it's our major check to his Zygarde and can pretty much take it out with a Psychic pretty nicely. We have Thunder on it to take a hit from the Pidgeot and hit that, because obviously that thing, Mega Pidgeot, has no guard, so we can hit that with a nice and clean Thunder. We can also take a hit from a boosted Xurkitree and hit that with a Psychic pretty hard. Ditto can't really hit us back too much. We might have Shadow Ball on there, but even so, it's not going to do too much back to us. We have Recover, especially if it's a Scarf, so we can probably Recover stall it. And we have Regenerator this time, Leftovers Regenerator, so we can pivot out and just make sure that we stay nice and healthy to keep coming in and just be a sponge in this game. Then we have a offensive Beedrill, but without Drill Run, crucially. I think it's like Poison Jab, Poison Jab, Toxic Spikes, Roost, and U-Turn. The idea being that should he get a Scarf copied version of our Beedrill, it's hard-walled by a Terrakion. You know, Poison Jab and U-Turn are going to do nothing to Terrakion, so we can always beat it with our Terrakion. That's the thinking with the Beedrill. What's more, the Terrakion here is a Scarf Terrakion, and it outspeeds the Mega Beedrill by 1 point. Now, admittedly, if he Scarfed it, so he will get the Scarf boost, but then he won't do much with Poison Jab or U-Turn anyway. But I have a feeling, because it's Kenneth, he probably won't be Scarf Ditto. He likes to have very creative sets, so I could see him being something a little bit more wacky on this Ditto. And also, against my team, I'm not even sure that Scarf Ditto is the best thing. I have a lot of Pokemon that you want to, like, Nidoking, Togekiss, you probably want to be able to take advantage of their full sets and coverage and stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him not be Scarfed at all. Then we have a physically defensive Magmortar. This thing was for his Mimikyu, which hasn't come. So this is literally just max physical defense with Flame Body, Clear Smog. So the idea being that he can set up Sword Stance with his Mimikyu, but if he tries to hit us, he might get a Flame Body burn, and we'll Clear Smog him back down, and then he's going to be doing very, very little. We have an Iapapa Berry on this, so one of the big 50% berries when we get low, to help our health get back up. I think we might even have Flame Charge on this set. I think it's Flame Charge, Flame Burst, if that's the one with the 30% burn chance, like Scald. And then, or Lava Plume, actually. I think it's Lava Plume. Lava Plume, Flame Charge, Clear Smog, and Thunderbolt, so that we can still hit the Pidgeot pretty nicely, and the Greninja pretty nicely. So if we get a Flame Charge off, we should outspeed anything but Scarf Greninja, be able to hit that with a Thunderbolt, which could be pretty useful. Then we have our Togekiss, which is a Spadef Togekiss. It's designed to take on the Mega Pidgeot a little bit, and also designed to take on a specially offensive Greninja. I figured he'd probably have Gunk Shot on it, but if it's a mixed set without any attack investment, we should be able to eat up with max HP a Gunk Shot and Dazzling Gleam this thing. It will hurt, but we should be able to take one, certainly. Then we have Nidoking here, which is our Focus Sash Rock Setter. It's also a backup check to Zygarde. If we can keep our Sash intact, we can take any hit from Zygarde, obviously, and Ice Beam him into Oblivion if he gets 2 set up. The same with Xurkitree. If it gets 2 set up, we can take any hit, like Psychic or whatever the coverage this thing gets, and then Earth Power it out of there. So we have like Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt, no, Ice Beam, sorry. Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Ice Beam, and Stealth Rocks. So it's also our Rock Setter in this game. So looking at team preview, I decided that I really wanted to get rocks up because his only form of removal would be a Mega Pidgeot, which if it has to remove, then it's not attacking, and that in itself is a bonus. But also it's going to take 25% from rocks, so I feel like that's a really big bonus. So we're going to lead off with the Nidoking here, and I haven't actually watched this replay back. This game was last night, so my commentary seems a little bit more mellow than usual because I haven't even watched it back. So we're going to kind of be watching this together. And I decided to switch out because I don't want to get caught with an Earth Power or an Ice Beam. It's going to do a lot. I go into Strump because I know that I can, you know, get my leftovers and pivot out and pretty much take any hit from this thing. I'm just going to fire for Psychic. I did consider making the read and going for the Thunder hard on the Greninja. But I thought I've still got my Togekiss to switch into Greninja, so I'm not too scared. So we go out into Togekiss here. And he pops off the Night Slash. And now I'm like, oh, damn. This thing's purely physical. So my Greninja check is no longer a Greninja check. And I'm kind of looking at it and thinking, okay, so he's definitely going to have Gunk. I need to switch something in on the Gunk. I kind of want to keep my Focus Sash in check. I definitely can't leave Gypsy in here. So I'm just going to go out into Terrakion on the Gunk. And if he goes for a Water move straight off, then, I mean, I'm looking pretty screwed, frankly. I'm looking like I'm going to lose this game because Terrakion's really important. But if he just goes for Gunk Shot, which he should do, then I can take that hit. Oh, in fact, we stay in. We stay in and just go for the Thunder Wave. I think I can take one Gunk Shot, so I just go for the Thunder Wave. I'm obviously feeling brave. Oh, no, that's it. I think maybe he's like Scarf, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave. We should be able to take one, even though he's physically offensive, and we'll be able to see if he's Choice Locked here, or Choice Banned or something. That's what I was thinking. So I went for the Thunder Wave. You can tell I haven't watched this one back. As he goes out into Xurkitree. We're nearly back at 100%, so that's fine. We can go into Nidoking. So far, he's been attacking what's in front of him, and, you know, we've got to make some kind of a switch on this thing, so it makes sense to do that, and this will give me my rocks, which I've been, you know, I wanted from turn 1, because now he doesn't have good removal, and I can hopefully get them up for a while, and now I want to kind of see what he choice locks into, so I'm just going to go for a Sludge Wave, and I've got my Sash, so I know I can live anything, and I'm now confident this thing is choice from the fact he didn't even go for the Gunk Shot. As he goes for the Power Up Punch here, and I'm like, oh, this thing isn't choiced. He was just worried about Scarf Togekiss. So he fires off the Power Up Punch, and I'm like, okay, he's going for the Gunk here for sure, and this is where I go to Terrakion. Being confident he's going for the Gunk Shot, and I resist it. I won't take too much. Thank goodness he misses, which of course is the other thing with Gunk Shot. That would have done a decent chunk, probably about 50% I think at +1. Maybe not 50%, but a decent chunk at +1. But we always outspeed with our Scarf, which is nice to know, because he obviously wasn't choice locked, so that we can clear him off with that close combat. This brings in Delphox, and I feel pretty safe pivoting into Gypsy on the Delphox. Not realizing that he is in fact Calm Mind, because Kenneth is wild. And now I'm like, okay, let me just get a T-Wave off on this thing. If I slow it down, I can break it. I've got Scarf, Earthquake on my Terrakion and various other things. But let me just go out into Matt the Magmortar. I'm not going to take too much because I am max HP, and Magmortar's Spadef is like 80 or something, so it's not terrible. And I can clear Smog him down, and he's not going to do too much with the next hit. He might even get paralyzed, and he actually goes for the Psy Shock, and obviously being max defense pays off here. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite put us in Iapapa range. I don't know if they were different roles from the Flamethrower into the Psy Shock, but we don't get the Iapapa, which sucks. So he is able to take us out, but now Nidoking can come in. We're at 1%, so like I might as well use this at this point to just fire off an Earth Power. I don't want to get choice locked in with Terrakion or anything else at this point. He can bring in his Ditto. And here I'm just going to go for the Earth Power and see what he does. He goes for the Ice Beam, and this doesn't really tell me too much. He could have just won a Speed tie, but either way, I'm pretty safe going into Strump here. I know he can't touch me, even if he isn't choice locked, and if he is choice locked, he really can't. And I can just fire for Psychic, and he doesn't have a good Psychic switching, but Xurkitree takes like nothing, and I'm like, what the hell is this Xurkitree? That's bulky as hell. So I just go for another Signal Beam in case he wants to go for like a Z Hypnosis or something. There's nothing else I really want to kind of have to deal with that. And I can always pivot out once I can see what he's going for. And here, I make a bit of a risky switch. He's been going for Signal Beams. And I just expect him to go for another one. So I pivot out into Terrakion. I know I can take a Thunderbolt if he goes for it. But it is risky because we take a lot of damage. And now, this thing is not so good at checking my own Beedrill in terms of a Poison Jab might KO us from this range from a Dittoed version of my Beedrill. So I'm like, oh, I didn't really think of that. But we're just going to have to deal with that when we deal with that. So here we go out into Reuniclus on this Zygarde. This is our dedicated Zygarde check. I could have gone for another Zen Headbutt there. The reason I went for Zen Headbutt on the Xurkitree, by the way, is because it dissuades him from going into his Ditto, which I don't really want the Ditto copying me. He's seen him Scarf from the Greninja, and I don't really want the Ditto copying me. And if he's not Scarf, then it wouldn't make sense to bring the Ditto out at this point. And even if he is Scarf, then I know that my Reuniclus can wall a Zen Headbutting Scarfed Terrakion, essentially. So that's why I went for the Zen Headbutt to finish this thing off, not anything else. Close combat, I guess, could have done the same. To be fair, it would have done exactly the same. But I just went with Zen Headbutt. I guess I thought I could flinch things down too if I needed. I didn't want to bring out the Pidgeot either, particularly. It seemed the Zygarde was the best thing to bring out because Strumpf is still healthy, so he can take this thing on. And we could just fire off a big Psychic here, which I thought would kill, and it does nothing. And I'm like, how bulky? Like, did I just get my Reuniclus calcs wrong in this game? Or is everything bulky on Kenneth's team? I still don't know the answer to that. But either way, he's able to take me out with 2. But that's fine, because I know Togekiss can live 1 and will definitely kill with a Dazzling Gleam, so I'm not too worried. The Iron Tail does a lot. If he was Z Iron Tail, I'd be worried, but it didn't seem likely from his team composition. Xurkitree or Greninja would seem more likely to be Z, especially given he'd shown the Power Up Punch on Greninja, and Xurkitree just commonly is Z. Here he can go to Pidgeot, and I'm just going to have to sack something to get Beedrill in for free. Beedrill outspeed this thing and will always kill with a Poison Jab, and if he goes into Ditto, then we're going to still do a chunk to ourselves with the Poison Jab, so he's really not in a good position at this point. And crucially, the reason that I want him to... I could kill the Pidgeot with either my Terrakion or my Beedrill at this point, right? But if I kill it with a Terrakion and then he goes into Ditto and copies my Terrakion and he isn't Scarf, I still can't kill him with my B because I didn't bring Drill Run on the B. And if he is Scarf, then it's going to be a speed tie to decide the game with my own Terrakion. So that's not what anybody wants. Because he could just Zen Headbutt my Terrakion and my B. So I'm like, I'd rather not go for the speed tie against a Scarf Ditto and play like what I suspect, which is that he isn't Scarf Ditto at all. But it is a little bit of a risky play, and also, I don't know, it could be a damage roll on the Terrakion. I didn't calculate the Poison Jab or the U-turn. It could be, depending on what he Scarfs into. But crucially, my Beedrill should be able to live any one hit from the Ditto anyway. So if he is Scarf, I might be able to, like, roost up on the Ditto and 1v1 my own Beedrill. Potentially. So we just, like, it's better to do it this way. To have him copy my Beedrill is definitely better than having him copy my Terrakion. So he goes out into the Ditto. And he transforms into Beedrill. And here we actually win a speed tie, which tells me for sure that he is not Scarf Ditto. So I'm like, thank goodness I know Kenneth. And I know how crazy he is. Because it really paid off there. Now, as I say, if he'd gone for the U-turn, I don't know if it would have been a 2-hit KO. So I might have been able to re-step on his U-turn here. But he actually pops off the Poison Jab as well, as it's more powerful. And we never could have, like, restored him from that damage. But he actually wins the second speed tie. So he does bring us down to our last one, but it's fine because, like I say, I made my Terrakion to outspeed my own Beedrill by 1 point with its Scarf. So we are able to kill the Beedrill here, and it turns out he was Expert Belt Ditto. So, of course, I do actually think that makes sense against my team with things like the Beedrill, with things like the Nidoking, the Reuniclus. I actually think that that makes a lot of sense because, like, if you copied a Reuniclus, for example, with my stat boost, say I'd got a load of Calm Minds up, you probably wouldn't want to be Scarf, especially if it's like a Trick Room set or something. So I really get why he brought that set, and that's why I kind of thought that going into the end game. And even kind of in prep, I thought, well, you never know. So, yeah, GG to my man Kenneth. That was a really, really fun game. Like I say, it wasn't super crazy serious, but it was just really fun to have like things like Calm Mind, Delphox, Expert Belt, Ditto, Power Up Punch, Greninja. Like, Kenneth is just crazy, and it's always fun to see that. So, GG to him. Finally, we got another win in Owl. If you guys have just seen, well, you guys won't have just seen it, but probably a week or two ago now, you'll have seen my fourth game in the NPL. That was recorded yesterday and uploaded today. I played this game yesterday, so for me, that's 2 wins in a row in my league games. Finally, I don't remember the last time I won 2 league games in a row. It's been a long, long time of just bad form recently. But we did it. We got 2 wins in a row, so that feels good. It feels good to be back with a little bit of form going into playoffs now in the Owl. I don't know my teammates' results yet because they haven't happened. As I say, they're pretty inconsequential this week because we're already in playoffs, so that's fine. But we'll just have to see how we do. And hopefully we can go far in playoffs. Whatever happens, I'm proud that the Bellowing children made playoffs in Owl. It was something that we targeted at the start of the season and we've achieved. So I'm really, really happy with that, despite a difficult season for us as a team. So yeah, that's fantastic. Anyway, guys, I'm going to shut up now because I was supposed to keep this video short and I've probably rambled on for ages. So Thank you so much for loafing around with me, and I'll catch you again next time.